lovely people, beautiful morning, afternoon and evening to every one of you. How are we all doing? In today's video, I want to use this as a medium for every one of us who are medical practitioners, nurses, midwife, doctors to learn one or two information which is very valid. One of the nurses in the United Kingdom has lost a license. A license has been withdrawn from Nursing and Midwifery Council just because of something. We're going to be talking everything about that in a second, but before we do that, make sure to like this video, make sure to share this video. Without wasting further time, let's get directly into the main issue.
Brian Little.
So guys, a nurse has been voluntarily removed from the register according to the report from Nursing and Midwifery Council after she forcefully administered a medication to a resident. Guys, I want you to tell me what you think in the comment section. But we all know as nurses, some are more passionate than some others. Now, this nurse was trying to give a patient a medication and the report says she forcefully. Now, this is how forceful could mean to me. Yes, let's talk about different aspects of forceful. I am a nurse, for instance, and I go to my patient. Hello, my name is Violet. I'm one of the nurses looking after you. I'm here to give you your 10 p.m. medication. For example, can you please tell me your full name and date of birth while I double check with your wristband? And she tells me, or he tells me, and I'm like, okay, this is paracetamol, for example. It is used for pain. Side effect is nausea and vomiting. You could also experience dizziness. This is maybe amlodipine, and I give. And upon giving the patient tells me, I don't want this medication. The best thing for me to do is to code the medication. I'll write a code of patient refused instead of signing, and I'll go to the back and I'll document. This is what I would do. But over time, in my few years of practice in the UK, I've seen a lot of nurses who would go further and say, oh my darling, this medication is really good for you, which I do as well. This medication is really important. It's good to have your medication because if you have this medication, you're not going to have pain. It's going to help you. So please, and the patient still insists they don't want. My darling, it is better not to give the patient the medication. It is better not to give. Write refuse. Go to the back of the drug chart and make sure you document properly that the patient has refused. All right, and on your notes, make sure you enter it on your notes that patient had refused. This is the right thing to do. I know some of us are so emotional, like, oh, why should the patient refuse this medication? I have to forcefully give this patient because I want the patient to get better. But no, it is against the ethics of the profession to forcefully give a patient a medication. A patient has rights as long as the patient has capacity. They have right to refuse their medication. As somebody might say to me, Nurse Violet, what if it's a critical medication? Of course, I know we have a lot of critical medication, for example, like the Parkinson medication. But if a patient has capacity and still refuse the Parkinson medication, you can't do nothing. You can only document patient refuse, turn to the back of the drug chart, and as well document that patient has refused their Parkinson meds. Write a note that patient has refused. If you want to protect yourself, you can do a DATIS. You can alert all the clinicals, all the clinicians in charge of the patient, like the doctor, the Parkinson nurse, and alert them that please, patient has refused the medication, and this is the situation at hand. And probably they might decide what next to do. Probably they might decide, okay, probably we could put patient apart, but you just cannot forcefully give a patient a medication. I know sometimes we feel like, oh, if I omit a Parkinson medication, probably I could get a DATIS, but you can't forcefully give a patient a medication if the patient has capacity and the patient has refused their medication. Now, this is the situation at hand now. So look, I'll read everything here and it's just on your screen, but I will not read out the staff name, but I'll put it on the screen. Nurse at Cathy Care Home in Moray was charged by the registrar to have forcefully administered medication or alternatively an unknown substance to a resident. You see the problem? When you do it at the end of the day, they say you are forcefully. Did you see now the allegations made against her? So it's not worth it. Do not forcefully give a patient a medication. It is against the ethics of the profession. Now, meanwhile, in an employment reference dated 30 October 2021, during a time with the company, that is the nurse whose license or whose PIN has been withdrawn, they said during her time with the company, she has always carried out her duties diligently and conscientiously, meaning she has been a good nurse. That's why I said, I know some of us are very passionate. You want like, oh, I want this patient to get better. But honey, this is United Kingdom. This is the ethics of the profession. You can't forcefully give a patient a medication. Because look at the report from this nurse. The company said she has always carried out her duties diligently. So you can see the problem at hand. Once you make a mistake, you can go down for it. Despite all your good jobs, despite all your kindness, despite all your diligent job, but once you make a mistake, you go down for it. So be careful. Now, the next thing they said is that we have never received any adverse comments. We have never received any adverse comment from any of the clients that she has cared for. Meaning, she had good rapport with all her colleagues and with all her patients or residents. What a fantastic nurse she is. Nobody had complained about her, and it was stated here, we have never received an adverse comments from any of the clients. But just because she gave a patient, if she forcefully gave a patient medication, they withdrew her PIN from Nursing and Midwifery Council. Now, this was the final verdict. I'll read it and I'll put it on your screen. Finally, the verdict reads, I have decided to approve the nurse application for voluntary removal from the Nursing and Midwifery Register. The public interest is best met by publishing of this decision for immediate removal of the nurse from the register. What a tragedy, actually. What a tragedy, because for them to say she had never had any adverse comments they never had any adverse comment of the nurse from any staff or from any patient or from any resident she's looked after, it means she's an exceptional nurse. But just because she forcefully gave a patient a medication, she has been withdrew from the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So this is not our portion. The essence of all this is for us to learn one or two things. I have learned from it as a nurse, and I know you've learned too. Just keep for me in a comment section what you think, what you've learned, or your advice generally to nurses practicing in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please do me a favor, like this video, share this video, and don't forget to support this channel. All the best.